welcome to Real Estate Real Talk. My name is Haley Bauer. Joining me today, as always, is LaTanya Button. We're here in Bryan College Station, the heart of Aggie land. So join us as we discuss selling a home in order to purchase another home, also known as contingency contracts. The purpose of this podcast is to help educate you on how the different real estate processes work, as well as equip you as the buyer or seller to ask great questions to your agent. Thanks for joining us. So let's get started. We will be discussing what happens when the seller needs to sell their home before they can purchase another home. So LaTanya, talk to me about how this works.
So the seller is ready to put their home on the market, and then they will purchase a new home. And the ideal situation, of course, would be that they would be able to go ahead and purchase a new home and then sell their home, and everything will be easy, right?
Right.
However, it doesn't always work that way. Many times, a seller will want to sell their home in order to put a down payment on the next home.
Yes. So the seller will get their home on the market and ready to sell, and it's kind of difficult balancing all those things. They don't know when their home will go under contract, and it could be listed, that day. It could sit on there for a day, a month, or several months. And at the same time, they must look for a home that they would want to purchase and put an offer on themselves. So they're feeling the pressure because at any time, someone could put an offer on their home.
Right. And something to remember is that typically the buyer will ask for a 30-day closing. And then this means that the seller, they've got to act quickly, and then they've got to pick another home and negotiate the terms and get under contract on this new home so they're not without a place to stay between closings.
Yes, and therein lies the difficulty of the balancing act. But if the seller finds a new home that they absolutely love and they want to make an offer on it, but they need the funds from the other home to be applied to their new home, then the buyer will add what's called an addendum for sale of other property to the offer. And this addendum allows them, as the buyer, to put in an offer on a home, agreeing to purchase the home contingent on the proceeds of their property located at a certain address, using the proceeds of the sale of their home to purchase the new home.
Yeah. And depending on how long that home has been on the market, or if they had a previous contingency on their home and that didn't work out, then they'll decide if they're willing to take a contingency offer. So if they agree to it, and then the contract, it will move forward with all the typical agreements, including inspection. So everything will start as a normal contract would, even though it's a contingency.
Right. So there is some risk because the buyer's moving forward with inspections,
right,
and they're spending money when they may or may not even, have a buyer lined up for their own home, and they don't have a guarantee that their home will make it through the process to closing.
Correct. And in order to accept a contingency, many times a seller will want the buyer's home to already be under contract and through their inspection time before they accept that contingency offer.
That's true. Some people want to place a contingency contract and they haven't even listed their home.
Right. They just want to see if they can get something, and that's not really fair to the seller.
It's
right.
really not. So it's important to also consider the contingency addendum. It does allow the seller to accept a new offer upon receiving the notice, to the buyer, and giving them the opportunity to drop the contingency.
Right. So even though it must be carefully maneuvered, it is something that happens often because of the necessity of many buyers to sell their home in order to purchase a new one. So it is nice when a seller does not have to sell to purchase a home. However, it happens often.
Yeah, more often than not.
Right.
So understanding the process will help a buyer and a seller know how to better decide, how they will purchase a new home, and if they themselves are willing to take the contingency offer. And it's a good opportunity to talk to your agent, to ask great questions to avoid the confusion.
Yes. And I've had contingencies on transactions where the seller that I represented had a buyer that had a contingency. And then my seller was purchasing their home, another home, under a contingency as well. So it worked, even though it was stressful at times for all parties. But one of the reasons that it worked was that I was able to have good communication with the other agents that were representing their clients.
Right.
And we stayed together and worked through each situation as it presented itself. I had another situation where the buyer really wanted to purchase my seller's home. And so we took it off of active market because there, right, it's no longer active.
Right. It's under contract in a way.
And it's correct. And it's contingency. So it's CC.
Yes.
So if you see that, that's what that means in this area. But, and so it's not shown as much. Right. So you're off active market, and then the buyer's own home, it just didn't sell. I mean, it sat on the market for a few months, and they had to back out of that contingency and out of purchasing that home, and they were really disappointed. So, but the seller knew that they really wanted it, so it wasn't as hard for them because they understood.
Yeah, it really is just a big domino effect. But these are just a few examples of contingencies, but they do work, and you can get through them for the most part.
Yes.
Well, that wraps it up for now. Next time, we will be discussing another exciting real estate topic. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to have the opportunity to share the real estate processes with you all. If you have a topic you would like for us to cover, please email us at realtalkaggieland@gmail.com. As always, check out our other podcasts on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to like our Facebook page, and when you have a real estate question, give us a call. Thanks for joining us on Real Estate Real Talk.